All right, happy Monday to you. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Remeisha Shade. It is time to, guess what, track the tropics. We are getting closer and closer to the month of September, which can be kind of scary when you're talking about the hurricane season. September, usually the most active, busiest part of our tropical season. So we're hoping that things stay quiet, but you know, things can blow up, develop, and we can have an active month. So we are hoping that does not happen. But of course, forecasters still calling for a pretty busy season. In fact, we're looking at the two most recent forecasts from Colorado State University and from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They're still calling for a very busy remainder of the season, an above average number of storms. In fact, storms likely going to form between now and September and even into October. Average number of named storms for a season, right around 14. Average number of hurricanes, around 7. Average number of major hurricanes for an entire season, usually around 3. This is the latest forecast from NOAA as of this month. They're still calling for 17 to 24 named storms. Out of those, 8 to 13 becoming hurricanes, and out of those, 4 to 7 becoming major hurricanes. Now, Colorado State University did lower that number of named storms they're expecting this season just a tad, but it is still well above the average of 14, calling for 23 named storms. Out of those, 12 becoming hurricanes, and out of those, 6 becoming major hurricanes. So they're calling for 23 named storms. Let's review. How many named storms have we had so far this season? Well, we have only had about 5 named storms. So we've got a long way to go before we get to the number that these forecasts are calling for. But still, there is a lot of hurricane season left, and we still have that potential to have a very active hurricane season, with the peak being right around September 10th. And even into the first couple weeks of October, we're still expecting the potential for a lot of activity. So here are those 5 named storms that we've had so far: Alberto, Beryl, Chris, Debbie, and Ernesto. It looks like we could go through several more of these names. Next few names on that list would be Francine and Gordon. Of course, we've had 3 hurricanes, Beryl, Debbie, and Ernesto, and 2 tropical storms so far. That would be Alberto and also Chris. So here is the good news. There are no tropical systems in the Atlantic basin right now, and the National Hurricane Center not really expecting anything to blossom or develop or blow up on us, at least for the next week. Atlantic Ocean looks pretty quiet, and also the Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, not showing signs of development, at least for a tropical system. However, we do have plenty of heat out there. We've got super warm waters. In fact, we've got water temps close to 90 for parts of the north and northeastern Gulf of Mexico, water temps in the middle 80s for parts of the western Atlantic, and this is really the perfect environment as far as that warm water for these systems to kind of grow, maintain strength. That is the fuel that they need. But there are some things going on elsewhere and in the upper levels of the atmosphere kind of hindering this development. But as we check out the Atlantic Ocean, we also are still seeing some burst of that Saharan dust. Of course, that is the dust that rolls off of that west coast of Africa and travels west all across the Atlantic Ocean and even reaches us here in Houston sometimes. And of course, it does push into parts of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. So that Saharan dust brings in some drier air, and we're still seeing a decent amount of that out in the Atlantic. So that's kind of hindering development right now. So notice as we check out the Atlantic Ocean, there's just not a lot of convection showing up. We do have some showers and storms as you look a bit farther to the south, but nothing that is organizing that would concern us or lead us to believe that we have a tropical depression, tropical storm, or hurricane forming. So let's head over to the western Atlantic, looking fairly quiet there. Caribbean, not much going on, and the Gulf of Mexico. Even though we've got some showers and storms out there, not really seeing anything that would likely turn into a tropical storm or a hurricane.